Hello. Hello, Jasmine. I'm very impressed. You're very, very, very on time. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Hello, everyone. Ah, oh, hello, Vicky. How are you doing? Gosh, two of you like top marks. I so appreciate you giving your time and coming here. And oh, are you in the garden? Oh, how lovely, Jasmine. That's really nice. Oh gosh, how very lovely. Yeah, hello. Yeah, Vicky, are you in the garden? Are you are you in somewhere inside? Oh good, I'm glad you're doing all right. How's everyone today? It's hot, isn't it? If you're in the UK, then it is very hot today. I like it when it's hot, but I know a lot of people really struggle. Oh, you're in the garden too, Vicky. I would do this in the garden, but I don't think my Wi-Fi is good enough, so I'd end up dropping out all the time. I tried to do a live once, and I was walking through the woods, and I thought, oh, this would be lovely. I could do a live outside, and it wasn't very good, I'm afraid. Yeah, it was. I fell asleep at the top of the garden earlier today. I was reading my book and I just fell asleep. It was lovely, actually. So, welcome everyone. It's really lovely to have everyone here. Really appreciate you giving up your time and being here. I'm Sarah, and I'm going to talk, as I always do, really about mental well-being, anxiety. I'm a therapist. I've been working as a therapist for nearly 7 years now, and this is a safe space so that you can come along and you can ask me any questions that you might have. I'll do my best to answer. Hey, Caroline Cherry Bubble, I love your name. You managed to remember. Well done. Excellent. That's good. It's nice to have you here. Hello. So, welcome to everyone who is here. You're very, very welcome. I'm very well, thank you, Neo Brown. Very well. Hot, but I don't mind. Just take things slow and steady. Let's have a look. So what I'll do is, I'm very lucky. I've got some lovely moderators, Jasmine and Vicky, also Lynn and Zanchin and Vicky, who are here to keep everything safe and lovely. And there's no tolerance at all of anyone who's rude, anyone who is, just not being kind and generous and supportive. So if there's anyone like that, then you will get blocked immediately. If we're not sure, we'll maybe mute, but generally it's just no tolerance at all, because we want this. We know that everyone that comes here, everyone's going through their own difficulties. Life is difficult at the moment. We've all got lots of difficulties emotionally, financially, environmentally. There's so much going on, and the last thing you need is to feel anything other than safe when you're here. So that's why my moderators are here, and they work really hard. They just come along of their own kindness and goodwill, and I'll do my best to answer questions. I try and be succinct, try and answer questions, but I know I ramble a bit sometimes, because I'm trying to get the right message over. And there's some things I don't know about, and I'll just say I don't know about that. If I don't answer your question, then it's not that I'm ignoring you. And I know some people ask it again and again and again, and to be honest, that's quite difficult, because it just, it's hard. They come through really, really quickly, the questions. I will do my best to answer, and if I don't answer, it's not because I'm ignoring you completely. It's just that they do come through so quickly, it's hard to keep up sometimes. So my apologies for that. If you have a question that you'd really like to ask, then feel free to email me at sarah@saraharis.com. So, we're going to go for an hour. So we'll be done at 6. We'll be finished, and then you can have a lovely, nice, cool evening, hopefully. So let's have a look. So the first question I can see is Holly Yet 15. Tips for finding a therapist. So that's a really good question, and it's something that's difficult when you've never looked for a therapist and you're not too sure what to do. Then it's hard to know where to even start. And I always say, start off, especially if you're in the UK, go and see your GP, go and see your doctor first. Every GP is the same as in any job. There are great GPs, there are just mediocre GPs, and there are rubbish GPs. But it's well worth doing that first. So go and talk to your GP and say, I'm struggling with this. Do you have any advice? I'd like to talk to a therapist. And it may well be that they're brilliant and they're really supportive, or it may be that they're not so much. So that's the first port of call. There are also lots of charities that you can go to and you can ask for help from. There's all sorts. Really, if you Google what's going on for you, then there will be a charity, and there's always in your area a mental health crisis team and crisis line, and you can phone them if things are really urgent. You can phone them. You just need to Google it in your area, and you'll be able to get help from them much more immediately. So I know it doesn't always work out well. Other things, depends on the therapy you want. The most important thing is that you find a therapist that is trained well, who's going to be giving you the right sort of advice and therapy, but also someone that you get on well with. So I would look at places like Therapist Finders, the QCHBA Therapist Finder is one. There's the Counselling Directory in the UK. There's the BACP, which is also counselling. I would say if you Google, and also, it's difficult sometimes to ask for recommendations, to ask for help from friends, but that's a really good way of finding someone, is ask the people around you that you know and you trust and say, have you ever worked with a therapist? Would you recommend anyone? I hope that helps a little bit. Let me just have a little scroll through. Welcome to everyone who's joining us. Where are you joining us from? And is it as hot with you as it is with me here? It's really boiling here. So I hope you have a shady place or a cool house to be in, or maybe you're just out in the sun and you're enjoying it, in which case I hope you're drinking lots of water. So let's have a look. Oh dear, I didn't mean to do that. Hang on. Do you know, with TikTok, they change things all the time. You touch stuff and before you know it, you've stopped the whole live and deleted your entire account, which would be terrible. Independent warrior, I find your voice and face so calming every time I see any one of your videos. Oh, thank you. That's really lovely of you to say that. Thank you very much. Let's see. Oh, so this is a really good question. So Khadija A, I have my first ever dentist appointment on Wednesday in a long time and I'm really scared. Well, Khadija, well done for booking to go into a dentist. We all need to look after our teeth, don't we? And I know that lots of people get really scared about the dentist, and a lot of the time it's because of perhaps experiences that you've had when you were little, or maybe just the whole vibe that people talk about. Oh my god, you're going to the dentist and it's awful. So always let your dentist know that you're feeling a bit anxious and a bit nervous. When you phone up the reception and say, listen, I'm coming in, I've got an appointment, I've not been for ages, I do feel a bit nervous, and they really understand. They'll do their best to make you feel much calmer. There's on my page, there's lots of things that you can do. This is a good thing because you can sit in the chair and do this, which is one of the pinned techniques, can bring you to a much calmer place. You can also do breath techniques, which can be really helpful as well. So, and the thing is to know that it's going to be over before you know it. You'll get in there, they'll be really kind and helpful to you. You'll have your examination, and then you'll come out the other side, and then that's evidence for you, isn't it, that it was okay, you did well, they were nice to you. So it's just slowing down, being in the moment, and trying not to let your brain run away with all of that, oh my god, all this stuff that might happen, because it won't. They will look after you, especially if you just let them know what's going on. But well done, good luck, and let us know how you get on. Okay, so Let me have a look. Emetophobia tips. So Molly XX16, emetophobia tips, please. Okay, and Lucy Marsh. Well, I used to think I have a calming vibe, so thank you for that. That was very kind of you. So emetophobia, I'm glad you asked that question, because I know last time there was quite a few questions about emetophobia, and I'm not sure I really got round to answering them. Emetophobia, for those of you who don't know, is when you're frightened of being sick or having people around you be sick, and so you can, it can be really horrible, because it really can just make life so difficult. You know, you might be worried to go out, you might be worried to be around people who are drinking in case they feel sick, you might be worried to be around children in case they feel sick, and you get all the classic symptoms of anxiety. So beating heart, overthinking, feeling sick yourself because the way that the body responds to a situation that is understood to be threatening can change the way you breathe and change the way your tummy's working and your gut's working, and so you can feel sick. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be sick at all, it just feels that way. So if you can do breath techniques, bring yourself just to a nice still place to be in the here and now, then that can be really, really helpful. It's definitely worth talking to someone about emetophobia, because it's something that absolutely can be helped. My son had emetophobia when he was about 12, and actually it wasn't so much like he was terrified of people being sick, and yet when it came down to it, it was much more, it was a combination of stuff that was going on, but a lot of it was about control, because when you're sick, or you have the potential to be sick, or someone else might be going to be sick around you, it's very much like, oh my god, this is going to be awful, and it's all out of my control. So by going to see somebody, you can find out coping techniques, you can understand what's happening, and you can go to you can look at, where has this come from, what's the triggering event that's made this happen. So you definitely can get help for it. My son is absolutely fine now about people being sick. So I hope that's helpful to you. Let's have a look. So another one good here. Sarah, how do I be a good nurse when I'm overthinking every decision I make? So again, that's such a good question. So thank you for being a nurse. You know, you've been absolutely amazing over the last 2-3 years. Everyone in the NHS, people who are nurses, doctors, people who are cleaners, people who've worked in the labs, people who've, you know, everyone who's done anything to do with our health service has been incredible over the last few years because of COVID. And I don't think perhaps you realise this. Well, I'm sure you do. Well, bloody sort of swore. But it was a bit patronising, isn't it, to say you don't realise. Of course you realise the stress you've been through. What a ridiculous thing for me to say. But what I mean is that actually the day-to-day stuff for you has just been incredibly hard, and that affects us mentally. And so when you make a mistake when you're a nurse, it can affect people's lives, can't it? And so it's completely understandable that you want to get things right, but that's why you have all the procedures in place, you know, like checking drugs. You're not going to be giving someone drugs unless someone checks it with you, and so on. There are procedures in place for that. And also I really hope that you're getting support from the people around you, but also the people that are your line managers. I don't know if you can talk in your place where you work. I don't know if you can talk about it, but definitely it's worth talking about and saying, you know, this is the thing that's hurting the way I feel at work, damaging my ability to do my job well. So it's completely normal to worry about that, because it is important that you get things right, but you're not, you know, you're not a robot, you're not a machine. There will be times when you might make mistakes, but that's, as I say, that's why you have procedures in place. what I would say is to bring the anxiety that you're feeling down by what I always recommend to everyone that I talk to first, stuff that you can easily do for yourself, which is create an environment of safety. And by that I mean in your life generally, to bring self-care into your life, self-management, so that you can bring the level of stress hormones down to a place where they're a bit steadier. You're doing things which give you the release of the good hormones that make you feel good about yourself and the way you're dealing with things. And also, so if you look at, there's a Dr. Kristin Neff, which is Kristin, and then Neff is Neff. She's got a website all about self-compassion, and there's a great TED talk about self-compassion, and that sense of, you know, it's okay to feel the way that I'm feeling, and I need to talk kindly to myself, you know, because the chances are, if you look at what you've done over the last couple of years, you haven't made mistakes. You have done a really great job, and you know, let yourself know that. Tell yourself, although I'm feeling like this, I've done a really good job, and I am careful in my job, and I can continue to do a good job. Tapping EFT can be really helpful for that as well, and there's lots of videos of that on my page, and there's a category of tapping. So I hope that helps a bit. And again, thank you so much for all the work you've done. And yeah, keep going. You can do this. You absolutely can. This will pass. This is a temporary thing that you're going through. So I hope that helps a little bit. So Kira Edwards says, I've just been diagnosed with Asperger's today, and a thumbs up. So I would say, brilliant. If there's a thumbs up there, I mean, it can be really helpful, can't it, to know where you stand in life and to know who you are and to be able to find out. Information is power, and I just think that, you know, what matters is that you're happy and that you can live your life. We're all different, aren't we? And all our little quirks, all our little ways of being make us special as people, make us amazing. So I hope that you're happy. I mean, it may well be that you fought long and hard to get that diagnosis. I know I spoke to a lady. I don't know if you're on this live today. You'll know who you are if you are here. But I know she fought really long and hard to get a diagnosis, and it absolutely changed the way her life was. So that's amazing, brilliant. And good luck. You know, you've got the rest of your life ahead of you now, and I hope that this is a really positive thing that can help you to really live life and enjoy your life in the best way that, you know, we all just do our best, don't we? We all do our best. So thank you for sharing that. Congratulations. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at any more. Oh, thank you. Cindy, thank you so much for sending that. You sent me a live parcel, a gift. That's really kind of you. Thank you. Let's have a look at another one. So Sean Mainwaring. I've started having panic attacks in my sleep after not having any for a year. Any tips? I'm sorry to hear that. It's horrible when you have a panic attack, isn't it? And I think when you have them at night, when you're asleep and you wake up in a panic attack, that's can be particularly frightening and not nice at all. From what you're saying, it sounds like maybe you did have them in the past. So I would ask myself, if I was you, I would think, what's gone on recently? What's been happening over the last little while that might be making your nervous system feel threatened again? What's happening? Has anything changed? Is there something that it's matching to? Because a lot of the time when we have panic attacks, you know, it's all to do, it's just a heightened level of anxiety that we're triggered into. And if we can sort out the stuff, so either sort out the environment, sort out what's happened recently, understand it more, change it if we can, use practical steps to feel much calmer during the day, then the stuff at night, either sleep or waking up with panic attacks, will actually be helped massively. So it's not so much about stopping them at night time, it's about changing the way daytime is and the stuff that's happening to trigger it, which will bring the levels of adrenaline and cortisol down, so that when you're asleep and your brain is processing what's happened during the day, you're not thrown into that panic attack. So you can use loads of techniques on my page. Can be really, really helpful. I was going to say something else then. I can't remember what it said. Hopefully it will come back to me. But hopefully that will help you. But don't worry, because this will be a temporary thing. It will pass. And you'll get back to that place where you can sleep and sleep well and not be bothered by the panic attacks. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So when you wake up with it, what is important is to know that it's temporary, that it will pass. If you have anyone around, if you have a partner or family around that can help you, to discuss how they can help you, what would suit you best, whether it's either breathing with you or reassuring you or whatever it is that would be helpful to you, chat with them. And then if you don't have that, if you're by yourself when you wake up in a panic attack, to understand it is temporary. Maybe even to leave yourself a little post-it note somewhere you can see it, to remind yourself, because when you're in a panic attack you're not thinking straight, and perhaps to remind yourself it's okay, this will pass, breathe, and remember that out breath is the most important breath. Don't be trying to be like to breathe in, because that's what happens when we're anxious. Our breath changes to that very up here, short breath, trying to get oxygen in. So it's much more about long, slow out breaths. Maybe even using the triangle breath that I share in my breathing section. So just breathing in, out, out. So you can be lying in bed, just going, breathe. Pushing out with your tummy muscles. Might be hard to do to start with, but as you get slower and slower, the panic attack will be diverted. Your nervous system is getting the message that you're safe. Everything slows down and everything just gets back to normal. So hopefully that can help. So do have a look at that on my page. So I hope that's helpful for you. Let me have a little look. So user 6457382, help with COVID anxiety, finding it impossible to feel normal again after such a big thing. So, gosh, that's such a good question, isn't it? Because I think, we're all individual. We all have different experiences of COVID and how it's been for us. Some of us perhaps have gone through COVID and it's been, lockdown was really difficult. For some people, they managed to get through lockdown, and then the opening up was really difficult. Some of us have lost loved ones. Some of us have been incredibly ill ourselves. And so it's different for every single person. And so it's understandable to feel anxious about it. And it's a slow process of being kind to ourselves, letting ourselves know that, things, we're okay. And I know that, COVID figures are rising again. And so that can be, again, very triggering for people. And so it's that all of the stuff that I share, have a look through some of the videos, the coping techniques, the info about what's happening to us when we get anxious, the breath techniques, all of those things can help us. And you're not alone in that fear. COVID has been an incredibly traumatic experience for people all over the world. You're absolutely not alone, and it's okay to feel that way. But it's not helpful to allow overwhelm to take over. But sometimes it can feel that that's out of your control, can't it? I would imagine. So yeah, do have a look at the techniques that I share, and it will start to get better. And it's okay to be kind to yourself. Right, let me have a look. So thank you, all of you. Thank you for everyone who's joining us here. If you don't know who I am, I'm Sarah. I'm a cognitive hypnotherapist. I've been practicing for coming up to 7 years. I work mostly with people who have anxiety, and and my page is full of resources. They're all free. I do my best to answer as many questions as I can. Obviously, if you look, there's loads of comments. I can't see them all because I'm blind as a bat without my glasses, so I have to keep putting my glasses on to read the comments. I pick one and I pick another one. So my apologies if I don't answer your question. I've got some fantastic people here who are my moderators. So I've got Jasmine, I've got Vicky Hodgson, I've got Lynn250, I have Vicky Handlebars and Zanshin, who's Barry, and they're all here off the kindness of their hearts, helping to keep this a safe space for everybody. So thank you for being here, and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. You can always email me with any questions, and I'll always answer you. So let's have a little look at some. So HMash95, hello, nice to see you here. So do you think medication can only work with talking therapy as well? So that's such a good question. I'm not a doctor, I'm not medically trained, so I never give advice on medication. My experience is, there are loads of people in the world. It just makes sense to me that there are loads of people in the world who don't come to talking therapy. Most people who go to see their GP will not be offered talking therapy as well, as far as I know. And, lots of those people come through anxiety, come through mental health issues, and are fine the other side. From my personal opinion, and I'm not backing this up with any evidence other than anecdotal evidence from what I've done, for me it makes sense that the combination of medication and talking therapy is much better than just having medication. Because if you have medication, then you're not really addressing why is this happening? What's going on for you? Or coping techniques, for me, it makes sense that you understand what anxiety is. You are supported through it. You're reassured through it. You're shown coping techniques. You're shown, you're supported through your journey from being in crisis through to being well again. So to me, it makes sense that talking therapy is. If I was Empress of the world, I would let everyone have talking therapy for free, and then it would be great, wouldn't it? But unfortunately, I'm just a little old lady that lives in Welwyn Garden City, so I haven't got that power. But yeah, to you, I hope that answers your question a bit. Thank you for being here. It's lovely to see you. Let's have a look. Meditation. So living the vida loca, 1056. I love your name. A lot of meditation. So that's really cool. Yeah, I would always say meditation is great. Do the stuff that you love. Meditation, yoga, baking, mountain biking. If you love it, do it. Let's have a look. I have a new job, have to quit my present job, and I'm scared to do it. Any tips? I've been there for... I didn't see the rest of that. Okay. Okay, so first of all, I would say if you're scared to do it, it's understandable. It's really hard, but actually, people understand. People come and go from jobs all the time, so it's a normal thing to do. As a mum, rather than a therapist, I would say get a different job before you give up your old job. And then once you've got something to go to, then that's great. It's a safety net, isn't it? And so all you need to do is you just put it in a letter, write it and hand it in. And it might feel like, you think, oh my goodness, but actually that's your right to hand in your notice. So I wonder what you're scared of. Have a think about that. What is it that you're scared of? And be kind to yourself. It's okay to be scared, but it doesn't mean that handing, if you're in a job where you're scared to hand your notice in, then maybe you're doing the right thing handing your notice in, I would say, because no one wants to be in a place where you feel like that. So let's have a look. Okay, so this is a really nice, your name is funny too. So Wuthering Wuthering Shites, please could you explain a little about what happens in a hypnotherapy session? So that's a really great question. So I can only talk about the therapy I do, which is cognitive hypnotherapy. So what I do is, so first session is an hour and a half, and we talk generally about, we just get to know each other, because it's a big thing, isn't it? Going to therapy, being with someone you've never met before. I'm not expecting you to tell me your whole everything, all the difficult stuff. It's just, let's make you feel welcome and comfortable in this session. Let's talk about what's been going on for you. What do you hope to get from what we're doing in our sessions? How does it feel? How do you know that you've got anxiety? I saw someone there said, how do you know if you've got anxiety? Well, everyone's different. So we talk about that, what's going on, that things are not right for you. Where do you feel it in your body? Where do you feel it in your mind? All of that kind of thing. So that's the first session. And I write lots of notes. So we sit there either on Zoom or face to face, and I'm writing notes and I'm thinking about, okay, this is how you're feeling, but also, how do you want to feel? How are we going to know when we're done? And so that's important. And I write notes, and then the next day I'll send you, it's called a word weave, and it's me talking, and I write it specifically for you as my client. It's partly relaxation, but it's also partly hypnotic suggestion. So it's letting your mind have a roadmap from where you are now to where you want to be. And I ask you, your nervous system begin to make changes, because it begins to realise, this is what I want. I don't want this way I'm feeling. I want to feel a bit different. So that's the thing that I send. And then 2 weeks later, we have another session, and we talk about, okay, what changes have you noticed? How did you enjoy the word weave? How were you feeling? All of that kind of stuff. And everyone's different. So I never do the old, pocket watch, look into my eyes. Never do any of that. For me, it's not traditional hypnotherapy. A lot of my work is very conversational. So we'll be talking like this, and someone will say something, and I'll be saying stuff like, well, you might well be surprised how often you begin to notice that your muscles are a little bit softer and you're feeling a little bit calmer. And can you see how my voice changed there? That it kind of goes a little bit slower, a little bit more, I don't know. It's slightly different. Like, it's my voice. I'm not going, look into my eyes. I'm not doing all that kind of stuff. But it's just enough to put you into a little bit of a trance whilst we're talking. You've got your eyes open and you're going, yeah, do you know what? She's right. I have noticed feeling a little bit calmer, and it's that gentle dance together of beginning to change how you feel, how your nervous system feels. And we do lots of stuff around, visualization, about understanding what's going on for you. So you know, it's okay, this is normal, I feel this way, and I can change how I feel. I can take charge of my life. And also, I ask you perhaps as homework, like watch videos, listen to stuff, look at books that might be interesting. There's loads of things. I hope that helps. That's what happens in my sessions, and we work until we both know that we've got to that place where you wake up and you go, do you know what, I feel good, and I don't quite know how I got here, but I'm back to being me again. So I hope that answers your question. So let's have a little look. So Martin Redden, he said, I tried hypnotherapy to stop smoking, but 5 minutes after treatment I started smoking again. So I would say, I don't work with smokers. It's not something that I do, because that's actually a bit more complicated than, there are people that, specialise in just working with smokers all the time. Like, I have a colleague, Kathy Simmons, who that's all she does. For me, it's not really my cup of tea, because actually smoking is probably more complicated than just going, don't smoke anymore. It's about, what does smoking mean to you? When do you smoke? what's going on there, what caused you to smoke in the first place, what was happening. Because it's like, you know, smoking, taking drugs, eating too much, not eating enough, it's all a protective behaviour, isn't it? It's all about coping with the stuff in your life that's really hard, a lot of the time. So yeah, don't give up on hypnotherapy though. Just because it's, you know, that one didn't work doesn't mean that another one won't work. Will work. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there will be ones that can help you. So yeah, I hope that helps. I'm sorry it didn't work first time. So 2 questions here. So orange cat says, how do we engage you? And any advice by, so CR00273, any advice for going to uni for someone with anxiety and relies on their family for support? So first of all, how do you engage me? You go through my website or send me a message. At the moment, I've got a long waiting list, which is in some ways good, in some ways awful, because I don't like keeping people waiting, but sadly that is the case at the moment from a lot of therapists, because there's a lot of need out there. But what I do is I always answer every message that comes to me, and I arrange to have a phone conversation, so within the next week or two of you contacting me, so that we can chat and find out, are we a good fit to work together? Sometimes people contact me and I'm not the right therapist. Like, for example, if you were a smoker, if you had an issue with addiction, if you had bipolar or schizophrenia or anything that was involved with psychosis of any type, my training doesn't extend to that. You need someone with more training than me, and so I would say, unfortunately I can't help you, but you know, perhaps I can point you in the right direction to find the right help. And it may well be that you chat with me on the phone and you think, oh, blimey, no, she's not for me after all. She's not who I thought. So and so that's important to have that phone call. And then if you decide to work with me, then we can go from there. And anxiety going to uni. So amazing that you're thinking of going to uni. That's brilliant. And amazing that you have support from your family. There's lots of things there that you can do. So you can work on, you know, getting help before you go to uni. Maybe if you can take a year out, maybe, and think, right, I'm going to take this year and I'm really going to get myself to a place where I'm feeling much better, and that I can go to uni feeling confident. Also, you could go to a uni where you were not that far away from your family. And a member of my family, not my direct family, but you know, my extended family, went to uni, and they lived at home with their family the whole time they went there. I think they wished perhaps that they had gone to uni, but you know, that's always a possibility. You don't have to go away miles and miles away from home and be in digs or halls. You can go somewhere relatively close. So you could start off in the first year maybe living at home and commuting, and then go perhaps live with friends that you meet at uni the second year and third year and so on. So there is always that possibility. Talk to the uni, call the unis. One of the ways of finding out a good uni to go to is what sort of support do they have for you, because that's really important, isn't it, that they support you. I remember working with someone who they took a year. They went to uni, went for their first year. It was really hard. They really struggled with their mental health. They deferred for a year. They took a year out, and we worked together. And they went back, and they're amazing. They got a first class honours degree. They're now working on their masters, and what an amazing achievement. So don't give up on uni. Just because you're going through mental health issues at the moment. It's absolutely doable. It's just about finding the right way of doing it for you. So I hope that helps. Let's have a look. Yes, HMASH95 said I would recommend researching a uni that had good mental health support. Definitely. You know, every uni is different, and if you contact them and they don't know how to answer that question of what's your mental health support like, then that's a uni that's not for you. But if you contact them and they say, yeah, this is what we do, this is what we can, how we can help, we can, do all this stuff, then that's going to be a good uni, isn't it? So definitely. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Thank you very much for people who are following me. It's very kind of you. Live, laugh, fruits. You seem so kind. Well, I try my best. I try my best. I just think it's really important, isn't it, that we're kind. So, okay. Oh gosh, so Russell Link 0. Any advice for bereavement combined with health anxiety? I suddenly lost my dad. Thanks. Well, gosh, I'm so sorry that you lost your dad. That's really hard, isn't it? And when you suddenly lose someone, it's hard when you lose someone at any point. But when we lose someone very quickly and suddenly, it's just devastating. So I'm very sorry for your loss and that you've had to go through that. So I think it's entirely natural that if you've lost somebody, that you may well have health anxiety connected to that loss. It may well be that you had health anxiety before that. So I definitely think that going to see someone, perhaps seeing someone who's a specialist bereavement counsellor, can be really helpful, because they really know how to help you and to help you work through the bereavement. But I think it's finding the right therapist for you, because it's definitely something you don't want to be working through this by yourself. You can do lots. There's lots of the help and advice on my page, which hopefully can help you. But actually being able to talk with someone who can help you, to help you understand where's the health anxiety come from, what's going on, what's happening around your sense of grief, the bereavement that you're going through. It's really vital, because it's a really lonely place when you're going through grief. And also, health anxiety is one of those things that can be really tricky, because, and I always say this, when you're anxious about whatever it is you're anxious about, you feel the physical symptoms, and then our brain kicks in and makes us believe, well, this must mean this. I was talking a while ago and saying that my dad died when he was quite young. He was 62, which when you're 58 feels quite young, and it's easy for your brain to kick in and think, well, if I'm getting to an age that was this person's age when they passed away, it's easy to empathise and to feel, gosh, is that going to happen to me? So it's definitely worth getting that help, extra help with that. So again, as I say, reach out to your GP first. Reach out to maybe a counselling directory, maybe QCHPA, therapist finder. Cruise can be helpful. It is. I know, you always hear, don't you? You hear the horror stories that people will reach out and they find a therapist and then they're not very helpful, or they're not very kind. Don't let that put you off. Just because you come across a bad apple doesn't mean that there's not a lot of really great people out there who are so wanting to help. So do keep going, do keep trying. That's why it's so important that you speak to the people before you decide to work with them. That's why I always have a phone call, because it's so important that you have rapport with someone and you get that feeling. It's like if you talk to someone on the phone initially, you get a good sense of whether they're your type of person that you're going to work well with. So do have that. If you approach a therapist and they say, oh no, I don't do that, you've got to pay straight away, then just run a mile, because they're just after your money. If someone hurries you, rushes you, it talks about money is important, you need to be able to afford it, don't want to bankrupt yourself going to see a therapist, and it's important that you talk about the money side of things. But if someone is pushing you to make a decision and the money seems more important to you than your mental health and your well-being, run a mile from them, because they they don't have your interests at heart. I don't think so anyway. That's my personal opinion. So Emil Chu can unhealed, sorry if I get your name wrong, sometimes they're tricky to get right. Can unhealed trauma lead to panic attacks? Absolutely, yes. Everything, unhealed trauma is absolutely, for me, it's the root cause of everything, and trauma is different for each of us. We've all been through trauma with COVID, and trauma can be anything from like a big T trauma that I'm sure many of you have been through, very, very difficult events in your lives, to trauma that we might look at something and think, well, how can this be? This is not trauma. This is something that, to me, it seems as an adult like it was a small thing, but it's really affecting me. That is still trauma. When we lose trust in ourselves, in our ability to cope, in the people around us and the way we thought they would be for us, when we lose trust in the world, that is still trauma. And that's the thing, it's a significant emotional event in our lives which makes our brain throw us into fight or flight, throw us into protective behaviour. And that's the thing, it's the thing that makes us, every time we have something similar, every time we get a match with that, we're thrown into that protective behaviour again, and that is anxiety. Definitely is the answer to that, I would say. So let's have a look some more. Oh gosh. Hello Lynn, that's nice. I've just seen your comment. Lovely to have you here moderating. Thank you. Advice for coping with social anxiety. So Tabitha Faye X says, advice for coping with social anxiety. So it's tricky, isn't it? And again, it's different for all of us. And again, that will come from a traumatic event. And it could be a traumatic event when you were in your 20s. It could have been when you were 3. It could be from anything. And it's worth looking at it and considering, okay, what is my social anxiety about? Well, look at the patterns of when do you feel anxious. Is it when people come to your place? Is it when you go out? Is it when you're at work? Is it with one person? Is it with 5 people? Is it with 500 people? When are you okay? When are the times when it's all right and you actually feel quite comfortable? And when to narrow it down to what is the thing for you. And actually that can begin to be quite helpful, because you can look at the times where actually you're okay, and maybe do more of that and be kind to yourself and let yourself know, I'm all right. I was okay when I went there and I did this, Also, there can be the sense of, are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Like for me, I don't know if you saw the other day, I was supposed to go to a party, and I'm an introvert, and I'm confident. I'm happy to speak here. I'm happy to speak in front of a room of people. But if you put me at a party and it's really loud music and there's loads of people and I'm having to shout to be heard and I can't hear what they're saying, and I absolutely hate it. I hate it. I went to this party. I ended up going because it was my lovely friend's party, and I thought, I want to go. I want to support her. But I ended up coming home early. I felt physically ill. It wasn't that I was anxious. It's just that it just wasn't my cup of tea. And if it's not your cup of tea, that's okay. As introverts, we get our energy, we get our connection when we're, for me it's nothing nicer than, so I met a friend today for brunch. We just had one-to-one conversation, something nice to eat, or perhaps like I'll just go up the top of my garden and read my book in the shade. That for me is absolute heaven. But there'll be those of you who are like, oh no, I love going to a festival. I want to be with all my friends and like partying, and that's maybe where you get your energy from. But we're all different. So looking at that, look at the patterns first, and then it's about what do you want to do? How do you want to live your life? Do you want to go to parties? If you don't go. It's all right. I made the decision this weekend, or that weekend. I'm never going to another party again. I'm just not going to do it. And that feels really comfortable for me. But I suppose that there's a difference, isn't there, between that kind of stuff, the decisions you make, and being really overwhelmed with anxiety. And if that's the case, then it's well worth working with somebody, and it's well worth it's those small steps of being able to think, because if you want to be able to go to parties and you think, I would love to go, I used to be able to go to parties and I loved them, then looking at how to help yourself feel calm before, go for a little bit, have techniques to help you in the moment, come back and think, yeah, I've got evidence there that it was okay, I was safe. So I hope that helps a little bit. So we've got 10 minutes left, which it's flown by. So thank you all for being with me. We're going to keep going. I'll keep answering some questions up until 6 o'clock. So let's have a look. Let me see, let me answer, just scroll through and get some. Thank you so much. All the likes and I see the likes coming up, the little hearts and the gifts that you send. Yeah, it's so kind. I really appreciate it. It's really, really lovely of you. Thank you. So Chloe Louise says, how do you get over the thought you feel like a burden to your friends when you're anxious? Now, that's such a good question, isn't it? Because I think there's so much guilt and shame around mental issues that we go through, and we feel, oh no, I feel terrible, I don't want to burden my friends, I don't want to tell anyone that I feel the way that I feel. And I asked that question, why is that? Why do you not, why does it feel like that? So it may well be that someone's made you feel like that in the past, and how would you feel if someone came to you and said, I feel really anxious, or I'm just not myself, I feel really down? I'm sure that you would do your absolute best to help them because you love them. They're your friend, they're your family. And so if you switch it around a bit and look at that and think, I would really do my best to help someone, I would feel for them, then actually why would people feel burdened by you? You're not a burden. You are a human being, and people love you. People in your life love you, and people in your life will be only too happy that you reached out. And I remember in lockdown, a really good friend of mine reached out to me and said, I'm really struggling, and I don't know what to do. And we worked together for a while, and they came out the other side. And it's not something that we talk about necessarily, but it was needed, and it just was that thing that they just needed for a temporary amount of time, help. And it's okay. If you need help, it's okay to need help. All of us have moments in our lives where we need to reach out, and you are absolutely not a burden. You are loved. So please reach out for help if you feel that way, if you feel that you're struggling. And if anyone makes you feel like a burden, then they're not a friend, So good luck, and you take care of yourself. And you're very welcome here. I'm really glad you're here, and I'm glad you asked that question. I'm sure there's lots of people that feel that sense of, is there something wrong with me? Am I broken? Should I be reaching out? Should I just keep it a secret? I want you to know that you're not broken. Your nervous systems, all of you, everyone who's feeling that way, your nervous systems are working beautifully. They're just working in a way that is overwhelming you because you've just not found the right way to understand what's going on, and your nervous system is probably working on something that is maybe outdated or been misunderstood, or so I hope that helps. Okay, let me have a little look. Let's have a look. Yeah, Vicky says you are loved. You are absolutely loved. Everyone on this, everyone here, you are all loved. the people on this in this community. That's why I created this, because I wanted people to have a safe space so that you would know that you're not alone. Look, all these people who are on this call. Here we've got 153 at the moment, and all of you will be struggling in your own way, but you're not alone, you know, and it's okay to be going through what you're going through, because you will find a way. You've found a way through everything else you've ever been through, and although it might seem really difficult right now, and it is difficult right now, it doesn't mean that it's impossible to get through this. So keep going, and it's important that we're kind to one another, isn't it? So let's have a little look. How do you calm your nervous system? Charlotte Catherine X says. So I would say, have a look on my page. There's lots of videos at the bottom in categories that will absolutely cover this. So do have a look and just work your way through. And also, I've started all of these lives that I do. I upload them and I put them on my YouTube channel, which is linked to on my bio, my profile. So, you know, there's always lots of advice you can go through in your own time if you haven't got time now to watch the whole thing. So Shola A, does hypnotherapy truly work effectively? Well, everyone's different, so I would say it truly works effectively for some people. Therapist, and they absolutely are not for you. And you know, if you look at the thing about hypnotherapy is that it's not regulated, so you can set yourself up after, you know, a weekend course and say, I'm a hypnotherapist. Or you can study for, you know, I studied for 11 months and then I did another 8 months on top of it, and I study all the time. I'm constantly studying. So for the last 7 years I've been studying with all sorts of courses. If you look on my website, you can see the courses that I've done, you know, and I never think I'm good enough. I'm always trying to learn more, trying to be more helpful to my clients. So, you know, yeah, I think it's finding the right person, and the person who's done the right training, who can be professional and solid in their work, not someone who's in it for the money or in it and hasn't trained enough. Okay, and you can get that, you can find out that by doing research and also having that initial phone call, as I mentioned. So, but it can work incredibly well. So yeah. So intrusive thoughts. Any tips for intrusive thoughts? So, and I see here that Bringing Brittany Back says, oh, sorry, I just pressed the wrong thing. It says, yeah, so it starts with, what if it's intrusive and it's not who you are, it's just a thought. Do you know, you're so right, that it's really interesting, because we can very easily get to the place where we feel that we are, as an identity level, that we are this, we are anxiety, we are protective behaviour, we are a failure, we are all of these really negative things. And actually we're not. We are this human being who is kind, who is loved, who is loving, who is doing their best in life. And the thoughts that come into our head, all the what if this happens, what if that happens, should I do this, should I do that, do they think this of me, if only I'd done that, all of the thoughts that come into our heads, they are thoughts that are offered to us by our brains. Then none of them are necessarily true, and they don't make us who we are. And so how do we stop those thoughts? Well, those thoughts are all about being in the past or being in the future. All the what ifs, all of the, oh my goodness, what if this happens? Looking at best case, worst case scenario, mostly looking at worst case. They're all off in the future. And so one of the things that can be really helpful is to bring yourself to the moment, to practice. Meditation can really help this, yoga can help this, the techniques that I share on my page can be really helpful to help you be in the moment. Now, it's impossible to be in the moment all the time, and because you do find yourself, off you go into a rabbit warren of thinking, but when you notice that you're there, to go, thank you for this nervous system, thank you brain, I appreciate you trying to help me here, but I am okay. I need to be in the moment. Right this moment, here I am. I'm sitting at my table and I'm on my phone and I'm scrolling, or I'm meditating, or I'm out for a walk, and right now I'm here and I am safe, I am present. And if you can do that, you keep bringing yourself back, that can be really helpful. To speak kindly to yourself, to not berate yourself. Don't be saying, oh my God, why are you doing that again? Why are you off in the future? Why are you doing the what ifs? No. Understand that your nervous system, your brain is just doing its best to help you and protect you. So that sense of, thank you for this. I really appreciate. I'm going through difficult times right now, and it's okay. And if I was talking to myself, I'd say, it's all right, Sarah. It's all right. This is going to be okay. Just take a moment. Let's just breathe for a moment. Let's be here in this place, right here and now. Let's be present. It's okay. It's all right. You can do this, Sarah. You know, that kind of thing. And then that can help with those intrusive thoughts. Don't be there alone as well. You know, if they're there and they keep coming and they're really dark, really difficult, reach out for help. Whether that's reaching out to friends and family, whether it's reaching out to charities that are out there. There are lots of helplines out there that the people there are really normal, nice people who are only too happy to try and help in the best way that they can. So, oh my goodness, I've talked for a whole hour and we are at 6 o'clock. So, gosh, thank you so much for being here with me. And if I've not answered your question, then I am if I've not answered your question, my apologies for that. There's so many, there are hundreds that come through. I do my best, and I don't want to just skirt over people's questions. I want to be able to answer them fully and well. If you have a question, just email me, sarah@sarahayres.com. I will get back to you. I will answer your question in the best way that I possibly can. Oh, Vamji. Hello, fabulous hello to you too. Oh, my son was on again. Lynn, thank you. You are like, Lynn is my eyes on this thing. I'm like blind as a bat, can't see. My son was on the other day. I didn't see him until Lynn said. And then I don't know if it was which son. I've got two sons, but that was very lovely to know that they were here. So that's cool. So I'm going to answer just one or two more things. Sweating, high heart rate. I would say to anyone, if I've not answered your questions, a lot of the stuff that you're asking about will be on my main page in categories, and I am working my way through. Where's my list? I've got I've got my list here. Of stuff that people have asked, and I'm crossing them off as I do them. I am working my way through them. So it's worth sort of, if you haven't followed me, follow, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but and I work my way through various things, so your question might be answered in the rest of my page. Do I think panic attacks are all in your head? Absolutely not. No, they're not. Panic attacks are real and horrible and sometimes feel like they've come from nowhere. So yeah. Oh, it was George. Oh, bless George. If you're still here, George, mwah. You. Paula, you have not missed the live. I'm still here. It's really nice to see you. So yeah, Welder Graham says self-affirmation is good. You're absolutely right. Self-affirmation, be kind to yourself. It's really good. Okay. So I feel like I kind of need to bring it to a close now, because my lovely moderators are here. They've been at work, they've been going through their own stuff today, and I can't keep going. I'm going to do another one on Where's my diary? No, I can't. It's in my bag somewhere. I'm going to do another one Friday. Mondays and Fridays I do lives, and it's just so lovely that you come here, that you join me. You're so welcome to be here. As I say, it's going to be on YouTube. I'll upload this live if you've missed loads of it. I'll be here on Friday again. I'm not sure of the time yet, but I'll post it, and you can register on my profile if you click on the little thing that says when the next live is. It's always a Monday or Friday, so you can register to remind yourself. You can ask me questions at sarah@saraharis.com. I do my best to help you. Thank you so much, all you lovely people, for being here. Thank you for being supportive to one another. That's always lovely to see when I put my glasses on and can see it. Do I get paid to do therapy? I do get paid to do therapy. Not on here. I'm not paid to do this. No, this is like, I do this because I love doing this, but that's my career. It's my job as a therapist. But yes, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much to my moderators. I cannot tell you how grateful I am that I don't need to worry about anything on here, because I have Jasmine Lake, I have Vicky Hodson, I have Lynn 250, I have Vicky Handlebars, I have Zan Shin, who come here. They spend a whole hour of their time going through all the comments, muting and blocking people who we don't want here, who are negative or rude or anything like that, and chatting, trying their best to help you as well, and trying to be as supportive as possible. So I thank you so much for all of your help. You're just amazing, and I couldn't do it without you. So yeah, so thank you all for being here, and do come along again. Welcome to come again. It's just lovely to see you. Have a lovely evening. Oh, Calcan from San Francisco, welcome. I was hoping, doing it at 5 o'clock UK time, that people in the States and the east, west of us would be able to join us. So I'm really glad that you can. So thank you. I'm gonna finish it in like 30 seconds or so, but I just like having a little scroll through without answering any questions, just having a look at some of the things you say, because you say the nicest things. So greetings to the Wingbat from Dublin in Ireland. Thank you, Sophie Alexandra. Thank you, Lauren Kelly. Have a gorgeous evening yourself. Yeah, oh my goodness, so lovely. Thank you, Caroline Cherry Bobble. Thank you, Paula. I'm gonna do yay. Paula Roberts, I'm so glad you made it. Oh, thank you, Smiley Sunny 2022. Thank you for being here. Let's have a look. Just scrolling through, saying goodbye to everyone. It's so nice. Yay. Yeah, the Homely Palace, Mum. Oh, my voice is gone. Yeah, come next time. Next Friday I'll be doing one, hopefully. Yay, Nadine! Yeah, I'm sorry you missed it, but you've just got the end bit, but it's so lovely to see you. Yeah, come again another time. Friday I'll do one. That would be cool if you can come. It's lovely to see you. Oh, Eleanor Edwards 4, thank you. It's very lovely to have you here. Yeah, cool. Well, I'm going to say goodbye, but, thank you, everyone. See you on Friday. You look after yourselves. You're not alone. Speak kindly to yourself. Drink lots of water, because clearly I don't. And, yeah, I'll see you Friday. You take care, all of you. Bye-bye. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Oh God, now I can't see. I've got to put my glasses on to turn it to finish it. Cheerio.